Hello everybody, my name's Skalookle and today we are back with Disturbed. So where we left it last time, we're at a fork in the road. We've experienced the left hand side, so we're going to do the right hand side now. So let's have a look. We reach the end of the pathway, in the distance is a tower. Oh. Let's try that again, Chief. We reach the end of the pathway, in the distance is a tower looking over them. A gate secures the passage to the area with a wall about the property. Also of interest, there is a tree that has a hole carved into it. Inspect the tree. You approach the tree and notice the hole is big enough to fit your hand in it. Look, you can see something shiny in the hole. There's a bit of metal fitting around your hand. You find 3 knobs, one on the right, one centred in the middle, and one on the left. The knobs lock in place. You wait for a moment, nothing happens. Must be sort of combination. Okay, so I need to come back for that. YouTube the path with this. Okay. Go to the gate. You approach the gate cautiously. Standing before the tower, your heart begins to sink. There is no doubt the birthplace of the spreading plague. There is a fountain before you with statues on your left and right. Don't inspect the fountain yet. Statue on moment. Before you stands an old angel statue that is broken in many areas. With one hand the angel is holding some sort of bowl, while the other hand is hovering over the bowl. You notice that there is only 2 remaining fingers on the angel's other hand. You feel you should keep your distance and just observe the statue. Oh dear. What's been going on? It's probably a good idea. You see an old statue of an angel that has been consumed by vines of thorn. The angel was holding a book in one hand, the other with one finger pointed up towards the sky. You feel it best to leave the statue alone. There is a dark haze about the fountain. The water is black and the smell burns with every breath. You feel a slight pull towards the fountain, sort of calling it something. You approach the door. As you reach the door, an invisible barrier stops you. It must be some sort of magic. That has to do with the 3 buttons. Right. So let's see. What's the knobs? Let's go right, left, middle. Left, middle. Okay. Everything goes dark and you sink below the surface. The hole above you seals up, trapping you underground. Interesting. You find yourself with no evident way out, but the path before you into darkness. The only choice is to go. You see 3 separate paths within the walls of the cabin. Which path do you choose? Let's go left. Of course you make way through the darkness. You come to a split in parts. Which way do you go? Let's go left again. Why not? You move forward into the darkness. You see 3 separate paths in the walls of the cabin. So that's going round in a circle. Okay, so left and right. You struggle forward as the way becomes completely dark. You notice there is a light off in the distance and you continue to make your way forward. Your guess is that this wasn't part of the initial design. You turn around and see the door. There being little to nothing in the room, you decide to move. You find yourself in what's like a basement. You turn about to discover that in each direction there is a door. Boxes of supplies and debris litter the floor and corners of the room. You notice there are several markings on the doors and floor, some of which scare you. You've got a bad feeling about this place. Inspect the supplies. You walk out the room, browsing through the dust-covered storage. You find some rope and boxes. It feels strong to the touch and have minimal wear. You decide to take the rope. Good. You enter a small room. There's a large cauldron in the centre of the room, wood resting underneath. There is nothing on the shelves if someone cleaned this place out. You look into the pot but find nothing in it. There's nothing else to see. Into the room. You enter a room full of metal cages. Before you, there's a hallway marked with questionable markings. You don't like the feeling you have about this place. Whoever's in these cages surely do not want to be locked up. You notice there is an animal in a cage on the left of the room, but from dark stains on its fur, it's dead. You cautiously walk down the hallway, entering a room with 2 cell doors. This isn't going well. There's not giving me any choices right now. You knew it. Before you can do anything, a large hound leaps in front of you. The beast doesn't look very vicious, but one more move could surely end you. To your dismay, the dog follows every move. Before you can do anything, the dog leaps forward at you. You don't survive long and die a painful death. Your adventure ends here. I don't want to die. I'm sick of dying. Now this, I believe, yeah. Okay. Right, well we know what's up there, so we know we can come back to there if we want to, so I just want to explore these 2. You cautiously step forward into darkness. We'll divide which way we go. Let's go left. An eye appears for you and gaze pierces the darkness. I'm glad this isn't Asian. It pulls you about, but you resist as much as you can. Not sure what you can do. You continue resisting until you can think of something, but begins to grow weak as your strength burns away. You suddenly feel yourself pulled into the ground and you are dragged like a rag doll. Let's go right first. I've got a feeling. Oh, hello. The passageway soon ends with a large mushroom sitting in front of you. A steady river of water flows beneath you and the mushroom. You walk towards the mushroom if there was something more than meets the eye. You taste the water to your dismay. Your foot hits no bottom and you fall in. You reach to grab hold of the edge of the surface, but your body freezes still. Let's go left. You walk forward into the dark, unsure of what lies behind. Let's go right again. As you make your way forward, you discover a large cavern. An old-looking ship rests against the edge of the lake, with debris scattered around the area. You cautiously walk down towards the ship. The air is chilling and you fear it won't be a good idea to stay too long. Possibility of discovering something that can help drives you to explore. You climb aboard the ship. As you take a moment to observe your surroundings, you are only welcomed by the trickle of water crashing against the wood of the ship. Every move about to see where you can go makes you feel like the wood of sound cracking under your feet. You feel this ship has been here for quite some time. You explore the under the deck of the ship. Nothing but the sound of your footsteps bounce off the structure of the ship. From one room to another, you come to discover a kitchen. Although there is nothing unique about it, you feel you should take a moment to inspect it. You pull one drawer out after another, finding they have been emptied. Dust spreads from the air as you disturb their rest. Checking underneath, you discover a rusty knife checking on the floor. You find that there are plenty of hardened rat droppings dotting the edge of the wall. You take the knife in the hopes you may defend yourself with it. You see a lone pot resting upon the dusty stove top. You gaze downward and open the oven door. Nothing but ash fill the oven chamber. You close the oven door. You continue on a lonely tour of the ship, only to find that there is nothing of use or value. Again, you find nothing much but empty rooms, left to remain in the dark and solitude. You discover a door with fancy markings about the woodwork. Perhaps this is where the captain resided. You discover a room with the captain. Unlike the other parts of the ship, everything seems to have been left alone in this room. Before you rests an old wooden desk with papers and assumed belongings of the captain. There is a small bed off the near corner of the room, and some chairs in it. You have a feeling deep down that you shouldn't take anything, other than the lamp and other jobs, yet there is a small stack of papers, in contrast to lone papers resting by themselves. Approaching the desk, you begin to inspect the papers resting on the desk. You notice to the crew, due to our unexpected predicament, everyone is being split up into groups of 2 or 3. Scouting assignments will be given until we can find a more habitable place to settle, but now we must do what we can. Peering about the papers in this collective pile of documents, you realise that most of these are personal notes or journal entries. You pick a few and begin to read. Day 7. The voyage has gone quite smooth as we begin our second week away from home. The spirits of the men are high. The spirits of the men are high as we anticipate the discovery of new lands that lie beyond our documented knowledge. It has been my dream to accomplish something world-changing. Together, we move forward with the hearts and unbreakable spirits. Day 66. It has been just over 2 months out at sea, and we have yet to discover anything new. We have suffered through many storms and sickness has plagued our ship recently. Several of my favourite crew have passed on to the next life. I see the growing doubt in the eyes of my fellow labourers as our voyage continues, the day after day. Food rations have been cut in half in fears that we may have to turn back. I dare not let myself think of failure. Those men who have lost their lives, the sacrifices to make this voyage possible, I cannot let them be in vain. Day 91. It has come to roughly 3 months out here on the endless blue, with much pain. We have turned around. Yes, we are headed for home port. We have just enough food to make it back. I just hope we have a smooth journey back. The spirits of the crew are low and bitter due to our failure. I do not let myself get caught up in the thinking of it. Truly, we did not intend for this to happen. Seeing that there's little left to see, you thank your living. So they got all the way down, and then they came back, and I'm only assuming that as they're on their way back, they found this cave and decided to travel in because there's something. Right, go back. Let's go right. Well, okay, go back. Go left. And we're back here. Looks like we're going left then, I suppose. And now right. And now we're back here. Right then. Right, so we know what's the right door, we know what's the left door, because the left door's where we came from, the right one with the cauldron. So, let's go... Since I've got the knife to defend myself with, so I'm wondering if I can do so I've pulled the knife out now. Dr. Hanson starts to growl at you. The hound dashes at you, sinking its teeth into you. Even with the knife, you merely cut the bits before it knocks the knife out of your hand. You don't survive long. Alright, so we can't go that way. Let's go another way. You walk up the steps. You enter a large room, the air is polluted with dust and spiderweb covered walls and ceilings. Where should you go now? The bar door. The door struggles to move, but you enter and find out what appears to be a spider's den. Here we go, another death. The air is thick with the room of metal web and body parts. You notice there is a couple of items in the room that could be useful. If nothing else, there is a key on the ground. Hello. Hello. What? What? What's that? Oh, I see. Alright. Alright. If nothing else, there is a key on the ground that you will no doubt need. Before you can even act, a large spider falls from above. You have no doubt that it is hungry. Without hesitation, the spider attacks you. You pull out your knife and stab the spider when you can. Unfortunately, the knife doesn't scare the spider and it bites you with ease. I knew it. You begin to lose all feeling of your body and everything goes black. Your adventure ends here. Okay, so we know going there isn't going to happen. We know that. So let's go. Let's try and go out. Outside. Don't go outside because that takes you all the way back in the world. You went through the cave and everything again, so don't do that. Let's go upstairs. Which looks like a private library. There is a passageway before you. You discover what looks like a private library. There is a passageway before you with a bookcase. Well, bookcases on the left and right. Browse the books. You take a moment to look at the books. Some of them catch your eye. Flipping through the pages, there is one particular that has ink markings all over it. Raw energy is a powerful substance not to be trifled with. It is merely myth that such energies exist. One does not simply stumble upon a pillar of godly power. Even if such a fate is yours, bare hands cannot contain the force. It must be bent and channeled into a specifically crafted vessel to carry it. There have been accounts across time of individuals possessing such power, although they pass away as sand. Their relics of power remain as powerful artifacts their nations around the world would fight for. You flip around so something grabs your attention. Pillars of stone. Years before current times, there were unique religious practices that revolved around the Stonehenge. It is said that these stones are lined up in a special way that often organised in a circular pattern, which is true. Organising stones this way unlocks an ancient power researchers still struggle to understand. In the middle of the circle would be a stone or two for the key stone to rest on. This is the great mystery of the ancient practice. From ancient records it is written that the energies from the surrounding stones channel their power into the key stone. We stop reading because the next page has been torn out. Section by music. There's been a bent page marking the section of the book you turn to. The art of charming is not necessarily limited to the instrument, but how a musician goes about playing given instrument. Some are definitely easier to use than others, and for a skill such as this, there are a few instruments recommended. The harp is one of these recommended instruments. From vicious dogs to shy unicorns, some soothing voice of the harp can calm the troubled heart. Of course, not all creatures can fall to this simple trick, but it can mean the difference between life and death in such situations. And that's useful, because that means that there's the vicious dog downstairs that if I get a harp, I can play to him and he might settle down. Move forward. You walk up more stairs. You pause as noticeably stone carving of a person praying is attached to the wall. There is something odd about it, but you can't put your finger on it. With caution, you continue up the stairs. You enter a strange room with a large globe centered about the room. There are windows that let the light shine through. Notice there is a chest resting against the wall to the right. You also notice there is another passageway like the previous room. You study the globe attached to the floor surface. The craft is made of metal and there is fine detail in the grooves. There are various markings and names scattered across the globe. It takes you a moment, but you find marking where you are, Paramore. You notice there are some hand-drawn markings within the area made with black ink. There must be something close by that has an interest to the author of these markings. To add to the mystery, there are similar markings on other areas of the globe. Approaching the chest, you notice there are a lot fastened to it. There's no key to unlock the chest, you decide to leave it alone. That key, I bet, is downstairs with the spider. Up there. Continue forward. You climb to the stairs to find a wall ending your path. Above the end of the stairway is a hatch. You open the hatch and pull yourself in. Right at the top of the tower, before you is a stone of power resting upon an altar of rock. Dark vines have entangled the structure as if they were feeding off the energies of the stone. Your body begins to tremble as you stand before the stone. You definitely feel weaker up here, as if the stone is sapping away your energy. This may be your only chance. You approach the stone and grasp onto it. You lose sight and feeling immediately as your hands become glued to the stone. Your life is drained away from your body. Only bones remain to testify of your death. Your eventuality. You can do that. Quite a try anyway. Alright guys, so I'm going that one there. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've got any theories, do let me know, because it's getting quite interesting now. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you for the next part. But for now, bye bye.